Okay, every day I get... What's this? I don't need that. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so every day I get 3 on each of my phone's questions for the Nova Chat GPT, and it lies to me usually the first question always, and I ask 2 other questions, and it admits to me it lies, and it apologizes because it says it didn't understand what I was actually asking for. It did. It just doesn't want you to know certain things. So I'll just show you right now how that works. The recent Danish study that showed that 30% of the vaccines administered in Europe were placebo, but were not labeled as such. Question mark. What were in the 2 other thirds? Question mark. Okay. The recent Danish study that showed that 30% of the vaccines administered in Europe, I should say COV2, because COV2, because it's not a corona, it's not COVID. COVID's a lie. It's COV2. See, every time I put COV2, it tries to change it. Okay. Okay. The recent Danish study that showed that 30% of the COV2 vaccine administered in Europe in the last year were placebo. Whoops, I already put that. It doesn't want me to edit it. It like tries to block me from editing because it doesn't want me to talk anymore. But we're not labeled as such. Okay. It's a statement, so I don't need a question mark. What were the 2 other thirds? In this Danish study? Okay, so my question is, the recent Danish study that showed that 30% of the COVID-2 vaccines administered in Europe in the last year were placebo, but were not labeled as such. What were the 2 other thirds in the Danish study? Okay. Now watch, it's going to lie to me. Servers are busy due to high traffic loads. It's bullshitting me. Okay, I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna read you some of the other ones that it lied to me about. I post most of them on Facebook. I'll do a screenshot. I just did a screenshot of that because they're saying they're not gonna answer that question because they're too busy right now because they don't want to deal with difficult questions that are not allowed unless you do a Freedom of Information Act. Okay. I'm trying to get on my Facebook, but it's fucking giving me a bunch of... Maybe it's because I don't have internet connection. Oh, here we go. I'm trying to load my own page, because on my own page... It's because I'm in a freaking tunnel right now. Purchase. I know. I did that purchase. Get out of my face. Okay. It's not coming up. But basically what I said... can you give me all the details of executive order... I forget what it is, 10467 or something like that. I think that's the... And it said there's no such thing as this one, right? So I said, okay, can you give me the last executive order that Biden signed? It said we don't have access to executive orders. So then I said, why did you, on the third question, because I only get 3 questions a day, I said, then why did you lie to me that there's no such such presidential order 10497 if you have no access to any of them? So you shouldn't know if any of them exist, or whether they exist, or whether they don't exist. And it said, we're sorry, we didn't mean to say that it didn't exist. We just meant to say that we don't have access to it. So it basically tried to say that it did have something to the effect that it's a conspiracy theory going around online that this executive order gives complete control over the world government to monetize and control all your banking related buying, whether you get on a bus, whether you get on a train, whether you get on a plane, whatever you buy, you have to use your digital ID that's probably implanted somewhere behind your ear when you get the shot. They don't tell you, they're like, okay, over here. They tap you real slow. It's you don't even feel it, and it's implanted. It's a little nanobot technology. Anyway, go on my Facebook and read all the ones I've posted, because I couldn't get it while I was in the tunnel. But you'll see the conversation I've been having, how they lie to you and they bullshit you. So when I stop this, I'm going to go actually ask the same question, but I'm going to ask it on my other phone, which I think I still have 1 question today. I might have asked 2. I can't remember. But anyway, basically Bill Gates funded all these fake Facebook groups to try to slow down the process of the Nuremberg trial. That's the storm is coming, and he knows it, and all the other crooks that brought us the COVID coup know. So they're hiring all these fake fact checkers to control all the information that's on Facebook and Instagram and other sites. And if they don't even tell you what the facts are that are incorrect, they just say it's medical based on a independent, and the independent people are Bill Gates funding a bunch of people to just write a lies, bullshit hit piece and not tell you what's wrong in it. And you say, okay, well, please tell me what's wrong. We don't have access to what's wrong with it. We told you it's wrong, so you can't say it. So it's basically the thought police now controlling the internet, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube to some extent, but the YouTube can't take down the Martin videos like the Facebook just gave me a 90-day strike for taking down, because the YouTube that took a lot down on my videos after I had 1 million views, they started taking down all my videos. So I'm moving everything to Rumble under Tim Janakos, TIMJANAKOS. Don't knock us until you try us. Because YouTube says as long as it's on an official government website, we can't take it down. But if it's something that contradicts what's on a government website, it can be taken down, which is why they take down all the stuff that's true medical information, but the websites don't have that information yet, or they're hiding that information, which is like MMS. Yes, chlorine dioxide. Yes, stabilized oxygen. Yes, the universal antidote. It's all known to kill all viral infections, fungal infections, bacterial infections, and parasitic pathogens in your body or being. Amen. And it's been known to do that for the last at least 60, 70, maybe 100 years, since we've kind of eliminated all need to go to doctors for pathogenic disturbances if we were willing to take the nature that God of nature hath placed in our power. If we are willing to use the proper means which the God of nature hath placed in our power and take back the natural healing from the pharmaceutical corporation cabals, religious cults of scientism, we would be free to not go to the doctors anymore, because there's almost no reason to go to a doctor anymore. All you have to do is go to your pharmacist. All you have to do is go to your herbal doctor at the Chinese market. I went there, had polyps in my nose. I took all their natural healing. I didn't go to the fucking doctors, because I went to the doctors in Japan and they fucking tried to give me Western medicine. I'm like, no, give me the compo, give me the Chinese medicine. They gave me the Chinese medicine. It didn't totally help, so I did that operation because the government was going to pay for it anyway, minus $50. So all my stay in the hospital, because I work for the JED program, I work for the government, they were paying for everything as long as I was traveling outside of my home country, which is where I was at in Japan. All medical expenses are fully covered. I didn't know that until I got the polyps out and got out of the hospital, and I submitted a report to my jet supervisor, who used to be the person who rented from the apartment I lived in, that probably had nasal problems like I did because of all the mold in that apartment. When they tore it apart, it was so freaking moldy. And they knew that. That's why they had to give me 10 days off from work and pay me, because they knew the fucking jet programs, 10, 20 years of people renting tatami mats and not knowing what mold is and just throwing their tatami. The reason why Japanese take their freaking mats and hang them in the sun and beat them and don't leave anything on the tatami mat that would get moisture on it is because fucking mold will grow crazy. But the people that rented the apartment didn't rent. They got it free from the government like I did. Didn't know. I had it the worst because it was growing over 10 years, all the mold underneath the tatami and in the walls and in the... They tore apart the tub and it was just like caked in there, just mold. Because they had a tub on top of a tub that the jet people don't know. You have to... Like, a lot of people in Japan, they move into a new apartment, they're like, no, I don't want the tub. Take out the tub. So they put their brand new tub in there, because inside the tub there's like this area where it keeps the water from getting hot and cold and whatever you set it at, it'll keep it at that temperature. That grows a lot of mold in there, but if you don't know, luckily I had a Japanese wife, so she at least knew how to get all the mold out of the washing machine, which was just freaking insane. Every time, like every 6 months, she would throw in the mold cleaner and it would just like black suds and all this black grime would be in your clothes because you didn't know there was mold in the washing machine because you were not from Japan. I wasn't. I was from California where everything's dry. We don't get mold that much. So I had mold allergies, and I still have mold allergies. So I realized when I got back from Japan, before I went to Japan, I left a window sealed because I don't want that's windows in the back of the room. And I put some cardboard up on the window because it was too bright in there, even with the shades. And I left it there for like 2 years because I never opened that window because I didn't want dust from outside. But fucking on that cardboard, mold started growing and I started getting polyps going in my nose again. So I realized when I got back, that's what the problem was. I took apart that window, cleaned that whole window, I aired out that room, I freaking put fans in there, but I bought right before I went to the trip, I bought a air purifier. I had to clean out the air purifier thing because there was probably a lot of mold in there. And I cleaned in all the shit, all the bedding, all the everything, just to make sure there's no mold in anything. It was super hot cycle. But in Japan, the mold was fucking crazy. Back when I first got a website, it was a MySpace page before I got my actual timjanakis.org or whatever it was called, tjmusic.org. Before that was called tvc16.org or timharada.com, I forget. All those are inactive now, but I got my first freaking MySpace page, and I had a music MySpace page, and I had a group MySpace page for this and that. I started a group called KKK, which was Kill Kabi Coalition. And we were going to go into all the cities where the walls are black in the train station and get some bleach and just write KKK on the wall. And then they would find it on the internet and they would realize it's not the Ku Klux Klan, it's the Kill Kabi Coalition to clean up all the disgusting mold all over every train station in all of Japan. All the walls and all the towns. Every frickin' school. Every major building. There's like this thick of freaking black, looks like soot, but it's actually just some kind of a mold or fungus. And we just get a bleach and write KKK, and then they would look it up. What's this KKK everyone's writing around? And they get the Kill Kabi Coalition. Get rid of all the mold in Japan because it's causing major sinus problems. Because I never heard of polyps in the nasal cavities until I went to Japan. And when I went to Japan, I found out my host mother had nasal polyps. She got them removed like I did, and they grew right back like I did. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking do that shit again. So she got the second operation. After that, they never grew back. But I'm not going to stay 10 more days in the hospital. I'm not going to fucking do all that shit. I'll figure it out. I just got to get rid of all the mold in places. So I realized I hadn't had the polyps in a long time, but they started coming back right before my trip. And I pretty much got rid of them because I got all this, I'm getting all the mold all the windows, cleaning all the windowsills, getting the air filter out. I got some herb from the health food store. It's probably got neem, but it doesn't say neem. But mold mix, allergy, natural healing, and I got all natural stuff. I don't do the pharmaceutical corporations steroid shit. I'm sure there's some good effects of steroids, but I read so much about the natural healing that the steroids causes more problems in the nasal cavities than the polyps even do. So I got the friggin' kick-ass sinus. I started this right before I went to Japan, and even with the mold in the apartment that I didn't know I had, it cleaned up my nose a little bit. So I do that account under the tongue. You're supposed to do 3 squirts or 4 squirts in water and drink the water, but I get straight under my tongue, go right into my system. As soon as it goes under there, my nose just starts opening up, like I can breathe. If that don't work, I got my new neti pot. But everything's been good lately. I've just been doing this a couple times a day, squirt under my tongue, and do a couple of these. This is a saline solution. It's called Sinu Urega. It's got oregano oil. Oh, that's why it's Urega. Oregano oil is exactly all I needed to get over the pandemic when I got it, the Delta wave. I just took oregano oil. And I took the zinc and vitamin D and all the stuff you need to do to avoid getting it. I didn't do that before. I knew all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, I get muscle tested. I'm not going to get it. Until the Delta wave, because that's when Joe Rogan got it. That's when Sagar got it. Sagar and Jetty. All the cool people got it at the same time. So, a little oregano oil up the nose. Whoa! Oh, opens all that shit up and the polyps go right down. It's got a bunch of arnica and all this other herbal shit. And then, that don't work, which is already working. Oh, yeah. I can breathe so good. I got these two. I am the walrus! Cuckoo-ca-choo, cuckoo-ca-choo. Shake them up a little. They're all natural herbal remedies. Dude, nature gives you everything we need, but we got these companies that take everything and they patent it and they take it out of context and they fuck around the genes of it and they manipulate it. It's like if someone went to your house, you own your own house, right? And they go in there and they like change the furniture, they put the fucking bedroom set up in the den, they put the couches in the living room down in the basement, they take the refrigerator and they plug it in the bathroom, and then they do all that stuff. That's all that pharmacies ever do to natural healing. And they claim it's better than the natural healing in it. They tweak it in a way that makes it like so fast, like fucking kill you with fucking side effects. But it gets rid of the one symptom that you thought you had to take the disease that you thought you had, which is just, all diseases are just a confluence of symptoms. So basically the natural healing would have got rid of all the symptoms and you wouldn't have to do all this disease shit. But anyway, they take it all out of context and then they say, oh, we changed the bedroom into the living room and the living room into the bedroom and the basement into the den, so now we own your house. Would you go like, wait, you own my house? What did you do? I changed the furniture around in the different rooms and I put the basement in the living room in the kitchen in the microwave in the stove. So that's what they do with genetic engineering. That's what they do with patenting medicine in the form of the cult of pharmacology, which is to take it out of context so that you can gain full property right over nature, which should be illegal. You shouldn't be able to bastardize nature and claim it as your own, which is what they did with the seeds in India, which the amazing Vandana Shiva started protest march and movements against. They can't patent a new form of basmati rice that's going to infect all the other basmati rice, so no one could eat basmati rice for the rest of their life unless they pay Cargill or whatever the fucking Monsanto's royalties for eating their, that's their historical leg. Basmati rice There would be no Hinduism without fucking basmati rice. There would be no Buddhism without basmati rice. There would be no India without basmati rice. You can't fucking take nature, change around the fucking molecules, a little bit different makeup, and looks the same, tastes the same, but it doesn't have mosquitoes. It kills mosquitoes that come around it, or something. It kills the fucking sow worms or something that eat basmati rice or whatever they do. That should be illegal, and it was passed in India that it is illegal. It should be illegal in this country for them to take natural plant medicines, which are all the pharmaceutical corporations' medicines that are patented, so they charge you 50 million times more than nature charged you if you would have got it at the real natural healing places. Anyway, enough about that. I gotta go to work. Peace out, kids.